culture collide. Dr. Omega's on a mission with Jack Dawkins by his side. Through the cracks of history, they chase the chaos far and wide. A city of steel, a hero's dream, and Metropolis, they'll collide. The Omniverse is breaking down. Dimensions twist and turn, heroes and villains all around. In the fire they'll burn, it's the Metropolis job. A heist like none before. Time travel thieves and legends to restore. From the shadows to the stars, we'll steal it all. With the 11, they will rise or fall. Oh, it's the Metropolis job. A gamble with the clock. Save the world or take the risk. In this city, town will rock. From the islands where the sun meets the sea, Jason's the voice we all wanna be. Interviewing creators, making comics come alive. With every story, he helps us thrive. Jason from Hawaii, diving in deep, unveiling the stories that we wanna keep. From creators to heroes, he's got the scoop on the comics for fun and profit loops. So tune in.
Aloha, it's Jason from Hawaii. Welcome to a special edition of the Comics for Fun and Profit podcast. In this episode, I will be interviewing friends of the show, Bram Stoker Award winner, writer James Aquilone, and acclaimed artist Zac Atkinson. They are here to promote their latest Kickstarter, the Omega 11, the Metropolis Job. Now, this campaign starts on March 25th and ends on April 16th. James and Zac, welcome back to the Comics for Fun and Profit podcast. How are you guys doing today?
Great.
Great. Thanks for having us on again.
No, James and Zac, thank you very much for coming back on. For new listeners, I'm just going to briefly go over some of James and Zac's previous works. Now, James has ran and continues to run very successful Kickstarters, such as the award-winning Kolchak the Night Stalker 50th Anniversary Anthology graphic novel. That is a great novel if you guys are big Kolchak fans. He also has the prose anthology novel, Dead Detective Society. I have that on my bookshelf. Oh, it's great. And he just recently, I think within the last year, James, correct me if I'm wrong, you had a very successful Kickstarter, another one where it's like a comic book series. Kolchak meets the classic monsters. And I cannot wait. I backed that project. I cannot wait to see all those issues. Oh, I'm waiting for new stories.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome.
All right, now, listeners, Zac is a comic book creator, cartoonist, and designer. He has worked as a colorist for 20 plus years on books such as Marvel Action Spider-Man, Young Justice, Teen Titans Go, and Star Trek. Zac and James, do you guys want to add anything you want our listeners to check out or anything?
Well, I can't think of anything other than Omega 11, but
Yes.
of course. But yeah, just check out my Comics Vine, I guess, if you want to see other things.
Mm-hmm.
I've done a lot of Transformers and different things.
James, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, there's so much stuff that I have going on, but I can't talk about. So the last thing we released was the Kolchak paperback of the original novel, Kolchak the Night Stalker, and we had what I was really excited about. We did the audio book.
Mm-hmm.
It was narrated by William Catt, the star of Greatest American Hero, one of my favorite shows of all time. So I was really happy that he agreed to do that, and he did a great job. So I'm really happy about that. And that came out last month.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
All right. And James, before we continue on, James, I want to say thank you very much for giving me a copy of actually Omega 11. The Merlin Job is to help me prepare for this interview. Listeners, I backed this Kickstarter when it came out. I was telling Zac before the interview, I have my original copy somewhere. Now I know this is audio, but James and Zach can see behind me my boxes of comics and my stacks of comics. So. But James, thank you very much. Thank you.
Oh, no problem.
Okay, now, James, I'm going to start off with you, and then Zach, just jump in. So, where can listeners follow you on social media?
You can go to monstrousbooks.com, and that's where you can buy all the Monstrous books, and you can find all the links to my social media and to the Kickstarter campaigns.
And Zach?
You can go to zacsart.com,
Mhm.
and I am at Zac Atkinson on Instagram and Twitter and Blue Sky and all that jazz.
Okay. All right. Now, before we start talking about, the Omega 11, the Metropolis job, I just want listeners to I just want us to go over a little bit of couple of things like, who is Dr. Omega? How did the Omega 11 comic come about and so forth? So, um, actually, Zach, I'm going to start off with you. Who is Dr. Omega?
It was I found that just searching the internet, and people speculate he was like an inspiration for Doctor Who,
Mm-hmm.
and he was a French. I can't think of the original author, but he was an old literary character,
Mm-hmm.
a French space traveler. I don't know if his original version was so much a time traveler,
Mm-hmm.
but he was very much H.G. Wells inspired character
Mm-hmm.
from like 1906, I think.
Yes. No, you're right. Mm-hmm.
And he and it just gave me the idea of public domain Doctor Who.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been kind of dwelling on an idea I've been wanting to do for a while of like a comic book using old pulp classic characters
Mm-hmm.
that are public domain and kind of bringing them together like a comic book super team.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And I didn't know, like, I just thought of like that kind of triggered an idea of like, oh, that's a way if you had a public domain like character like that who could travel through time, he could bring together like, you know, Sherlock Holmes and Robin Hood and all
Mm-hmm.
these different characters. And that kind of was the genesis of the idea.
Now, James, how did you hear about Dr. Omega? How did you get involved in this?
Well, I heard it from Zach.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if I even heard of Dr. Omega before. So Zach came to me with the idea, and I thought it was a great idea. So I really was excited about it, and I was like, we have to do this. And
Yes. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Oh, yes. Okay, so let's just jump into the Omega 11 #1, the Merlin job, because I just want listeners just at least, we're not going to spoil the story, the first issue or anything, because, listeners, please, if you guys can afford to, and we'll talk more, but I'm sure that there's going to be like some sort of bundle by issue 1 and 2 together, right? Ah,
Yeah.
that's going to be good. Okay. I love the opening line of the book that Dr. Omega says, traveling through space and time is hard. Fucking up history is easy. Fixing fucked up time is impossible. That is so cool. That
Yeah.
was great.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you were talking about the cursing, and I didn't really didn't realize that the cursing starts off right there in the first line. It's like three F-bombs. So yeah.
That's fine. I'm joking on this part.
At least we establish it early, and you know
Yeah,
what you're getting
people
into.
gotta know what they're getting into.
Yes.
Right from the get-go.
I'm joking on this part because Zach, like you said, Dr. Omega um is from a French novel. So hey, you know,
French.
you're shooting James, you're shooting off this guy's, you know, these French words already, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, James, I'm gonna start off with you and Zach, jump in. So okay, what is the story of in this first issue? What's the story about the Merlin job?
Well, in the first issue, Dr. Omega and the Artful Dodger go to Camelot to steal the Philosopher's Stone. And then things get all screwed up. Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm not giving it away, but then he fucks up time.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
and that's basically the hook for the entire series that he has to try to undo that or figure out a way of fixing things.
James, do you want to add anything to that?
The idea, well, the name Omega 11 was supposed to be a play on Ocean's 11.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So the idea is the whole thing's a parody of Doctor Who and Ocean's 11,
Mm-hmm.
where they're picking up, and the whole book's a mashup. And it's the idea of mashups kind of came accidentally because my
Mm-hmm.
brain is broken, and when we were trying to think of characters that he recruits,
Mm-hmm.
the first one that we were trying to think of was Lupin, but I didn't want to just do Lupin. I wanted Lupin to be Phantom of the Opera,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
and I just couldn't understand why that just wouldn't just make sense.
Mm-hmm.
That he couldn't just be Phantom of the Opera in the same person,
Mm-hmm.
and then it just came together that he just fucked up time so badly that these characters just started, and the whole thing is, and the whole thing just kind of worked together that the book is the whole theme of the book is mashups and amalgams, and
Mm-hmm.
and that's just my whole life has been just mashups. If you just see me at a con, everything is a mashup anyway, and it's just so funny that it's just kind of worked out that way.
Now, Zach, I love Dr. Omega's design because, like you said,
Hey,
it's a nice. It's because you got the nod to Doctor Who, the big you know, the big overcoat, the scarf. I love the scarf design too. Um, what I love about the overcoat is the subtle. There's some you can see the Omega symbols in certain well
oh,
placed in
thanks.
certain
Yeah,
areas. That was great. I love it. You know, it's great. It's very great. And also, I have to say, in this first issue, um, because James, as you mentioned, they go, you know, they travel back to Camelot, you know, and
Mhm.
already they're screwing things up already. But James, not Zach, what I love was your design of the dragon that goes after them. Oh, the details on the scale, that's great. It was just great. I love the design on that. That was amazing. Yeah.
thanks, man. Yeah, that was fun to do.
And then, um, James, what I love about this first issue, um, is that you show Dr. Omega is a seasoned traveler. I'm going to be honest because when I was like start to realize like I was going, okay, he's going to probably do kind of sort of a, you know, French or European or English accent, and he's not going to swear, but boom, you know. But it shows he's seasoned, he's traveled, and in that first opening page, it shows that he's gone through time. You know, he's visited things through time, and it's all for fun. And again, he's seasoned, and also too, he also talked to uh Jack, the Artful Dodger, about, you know, I I'm not, and I don't want to give away. I'm not going to try to give away too much, but he goes, you know, I'm not taking this types of movies anymore.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's great. And then the other thing I also love about what you guys included in, I'm not spoiling it because we've seen time travel movies. It's always time travel. It's always one person that's traveling through time. But the thing I love about this one is Dr. Omega bumps into a fellow time traveler.
Yeah.
That is so cool. And that other time traveler's going, "Hey, you know,
No, yeah, I like that idea that there are these. So since we're dealing with all these different dimensions and different
yes,
timelines, that we wanted to just kind of incorporate all of that, all these different. We
hmm
like the idea of having like there's all these other time traveling teams out there
yes,
too. And so the idea of that was that there's there was another time traveling team out there trying to fix Dr. Omega's screwing up
yes,
time, and they all keep failing and
hmm
come, and then and returning to him and saying, "Hey, what the hell did you do?" And and then dropping some information and then dying really terribly, So plus, it gives us an opportunity to kind of throw in, like kind of nods to Back to the Future
hmm
and Bill and Ted and all that. So
Oh,
that's
but
really fun to do.
because I'm not going to spoil. I don't want to spoil because listeners, you know, you guys are in a treat for this is, I love this first issue. Um, Zach, James, what you and Zach did on one page when they're traveling, because I think something happened to their ship but just the little panels,
Oh
I
yeah.
think you know which one I'm talking. I can't say, but listeners, you guys are in for a treat. This is great. I didn't even expect it, you know.
Yeah, that's another one that was really cool, and Zach did a great job with that. And it was again trying to incorporate all of these other, the time travelers and stories, and that's what's really been so fun about what we've been doing is just kind of delve into all of like the public domain characters and the
Yes.
non-public domain characters. Though we don't try to name any names,
Oh, yes. Yeah.
and it just we're always throwing around ideas for characters, so we I think we have like 20 characters at this point and probably
Yeah.
so many other potential characters, so we really do have like a whole like Omega universe now of characters.
That's so cool. Okay, let's jump right in. Um, the Omega 11, the Metropolis job. What can you tell us about the story so far in the second issue?
Well, now they need a new spaceship, so that's their main objective.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, obviously we have to spoil a little bit.
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh,
So they
yeah.
obviously
Just
go to Metropolis. So this is not Superman's Metropolis. This is the German silent film Metropolis,
mm-hmm.
which just entered the public domain, I think, last year or maybe even this
Nice.
year.
Uh-huh.
So when we saw that, I was like, that'd be really cool because it's other than the characters, it's really cool to then also have him enter into these public domain worlds. Uh,
Yes.
so I thought, Metropolis would be a really cool world for him
Mm-hmm.
to go to. So so that was the idea behind that. And yeah, it was basically he's they're looking for a new ship
Mm-hmm.
and they're gathering up the team now.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the next few issues, then they'll start working to pull off the big impossible heist to save the Omniverse. So there's a lot of new characters in this issue,
Yes.
and there's a lot of other like nods to other old films too. So yeah, I mean, I would love to spoil the whole thing and tell you the whole thing, but you'll have to read the issue,
Yes.
you know.
Oh. Um. I know because already I've seen, and if I'm Zach, correct me if I'm wrong, because I saw on your Twitter feed that you guys are already posting some of the characters, the public domain characters that is going to appear
Yeah.
in this issue. That is so cool.
Yeah.
Um, Zach,
They're amalgams of yeah.
do you want to
Uh
talk about that?
yeah, we have Orlock Holmes,
Mm-hmm.
who's part Sherlock Holmes and part Count Orlok,
Mm-hmm.
who was the who was basically Dracula,
Mm-hmm.
who was the old silent movie. They I can't think of the when they came out with it. It was they made it to be Dracula,
Mm-hmm.
but that was like they were gonna get sued by Bram Stoker
Mm-hmm.
because they didn't have the rights for Dracula, so they changed it all to be Count Orlok, and they changed all the names.
Oh, okay.
And so last year, when I was trying to think something for Dracula and Sherlock Holmes,
Mm-hmm.
and then last year when that Nosferatu movie
Yes.
started, I think it was like last year February, they started dropping like trailers or teasers for it,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like Orlok Holmes, and I hit James with the text. I don't know if he got it right away, and then we have the um, Machine and Minch, which is the robot from Metropolis,
Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm.
and we have Miss Creation, who
Yes. Mm-hmm.
is the Barbarian Bride,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know if we want to say much about her yet or not.
No, that's just. I'm gonna say no. I just saw
Yeah,
the design. I'm like,
Orlok Holmes is kind of like you kind of know everything about him just by looking at him.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Moriarty Mouse,
Yes.
who if you, who, who you can pretty much figure out by looking at him,
Mm-hmm.
but you also probably have a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Oh. Um, Zach, I'm gonna ask you this. I'm gonna ask James. How much fun did you have creating these new characters? Let's just start off with Moriarty Mouse. Already,
Yeah.
that's on your Twitter feed. How much fun
Okay.
did you?
That was a whole ordeal, and it was incredibly fun,
Mm-hmm.
and I laughed my ass off because we were trying to do something with Felix the cat. I
Yes.
was trying to do something with Felix the cat, and I had Felix the cat as uh not to get too much of a tangent, but I had Felix the cat as the genie,
Mm-hmm.
and Felix had his public domain, but his bag of tricks isn't. I don't know if you remember the old cartoon. But he had this bag of tricks that could do anything.
Oh God, vaguely remember
Yeah,
that.
well that I was trying to turn that into the genie, and
Ah.
James was just as confused as you are right now
Mm-hmm.
of me trying to explain it. So we nixed that idea,
Mm-hmm.
and but we still wanted to like a kind of a character that was kind of like a cartoon,
Mm-hmm.
and uh, I don't. But I was like, and Mickey was the thing.
Yes.
It
Mm-hmm.
was like, oh well, Mickey's too overdone
Mm-hmm.
and everything. And I was like, I was convinced I could make it work.
Mm-hmm.
And I was already going to do something with Moriarty. I just
Mm-hmm.
didn't know. I wasn't sure what. Like, I thought I was going to put him in a robot or something.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that kind of yeah, that evolved into a whole thing. But yeah, he ended up in a mouse.
Even better. I mean, a lot of the characters start off with the name. You
Yes.
just throw the two names together if the name works.
Yeah.
Follows from that. So it was Moriarty Mouse. Oh, okay. And then Zach, go draw that, and then I love that. 'Cause I love like this he had like this like expression of like contempt, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that Ebola and the cane is just it's fun. I mean, I think that's gonna be a really fun character.
Yeah, his proportions. This is
Yes.
why I'm most this is what I'm most proud of is he has like the Steamboat Willie proportions.
Mm-hmm.
That the only difference is his scowl, like his
Mm-hmm.
facial expressions
Uh-huh.
and his jowls. Like that's all that's different, and it's it looks like a completely different character. That and I like changed his like the color of his shorts a little bit.
All right, James, I'm gonna ask because like for the Merlin job, you had also two, if I remember correctly, I think one of the tier rewards was a Monstrous magazine number 2 that focused on time traveling. For this one, the Metropolis job, will there be a Monstrous magazine number 3 included in this campaign?
No, we're just gonna do the comic this time.
Oh yeah.
It's a lot of work trying to put together two books at the same time, and I had another campaign
Hmm.
ending at the same time, so I had to put like 4 or 5 books together at the end of
Oh
last year.
God.
Uh,
Yes. No,
it's
no.
crazy. Uh, but we'll get to Monstrous 3 at some point.
Hmm.
I also need a theme for
Mm.
that. I guess we could have done Metropolis or something like that.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I might just do like Monstrous 3 as a campaign on its own.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, I'd like to get more issues out and
Yeah.
soon.
And for listeners, again, go to the Monstrous website, Monstrous magazine number 2, as James mentioned. That one has a theme to it. It's a time traveling theme that him and J.K. Woodward did was it a 16-page comic about the Morlocks, how the Morlocks origins or something?
21 or 22 pages. Yeah, we did
Okay.
Rise of the Morlock. So it's a Morlock story. The Morlocks come to the 1970s New York and wreak some havoc
Hmm.
there. And they're living underneath the New York City subway.
Oh, okay, that's so cool. And then I know the only reason why I'm talking, sorry, I'm kind of going off the cuff, and we'll get back to the rewards and tiers for this campaign. Um, the thing because I'm going to go back to the website because I'm going to order. I didn't get that during the original campaign, but
Oh,
now I see what's in it. Not only the magazine, but you guys have also an interview with Malcolm McDowell, who
yeah.
played H.G. Wells in Time After Time. Oh my God, dude, that's a great time traveling movie. You know,
That really is a great movie, and that was like so like ahead of its time. And
yes,
they did that. It's H.G. Wells, and then he's chasing Jack the Ripper,
yes.
who travels to 1970s San
Hmm.
Francisco. So that was so cool. And now we there's so many TV shows and movies like that, but
Yes.
back then there was nothing like that.
Hmm.
Uh, but and it was like it wasn't a huge movie, but it was really well done. And Malcolm McDowell was great in that, and you have
Yes.
David Warner as Jack the
Yes.
Ripper. He's amazing, and Mary Steenburgen, one of her first roles too.
Yes.
So it was really cool to have Malcolm McDowell actually agree to do an interview about it. And yeah, I mean, it was just like we were trying to expand with Montress and start doing interviews and stuff like that. So it's cool to get somebody that big to
Yes.
agree to it.
All right. Um. Okay. Let's start talking about the reward tiers and so forth. Um. James, I'm gonna start off with you. Zach, jump into. Will there be any early bird specials? Um. Like.
I don't know if we'll do early bird specials.
Mhm.
I think we have at least 5 covers. And we
Yes.
have really amazing covers. These are probably the best set of covers we've ever had. So we have some really cool stuff there. We're gonna have a lot of original art. So Zach's gonna do sketch covers, and then we're gonna do a special sketch cover where you could be murdered by miscreation
Oh.
on the Death by Snoo tier. And I guess we'll take a request that you can be killed by her in any way you'd like, right? Uh, and we're gonna have, I think we're gonna, the first time we're gonna do like a box. We're gonna have like a collector type box,
Oh, nice.
a Monstrous box. Um, and we'll have we didn't do this in the last campaign, but we'll do the Omega 11 T-shirt,
Oh, nice.
and then we'll be expanding on the trading cards. So we'll do the new characters.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'll be another six trading cards. So that'll give us then 12 trading cards in all, because we had six in the last campaign. So I think, and again, you'll be able to be drawn into the comic. Last time we had, you could be a knight. Uh, I guess this time you'll probably be somebody in Metropolis.
Oh, that's so cool. That's so cool to hear that. And Zach, I'm sure you're gonna do you have fun doing that when you get, like someone goes, "Hey, I want to be in the comic," and is it always cool to like have a fan, you draw the fan into the scenes and stuff or a scene?
Yeah, especially if they're funny looking. If they're just regular looking people, it's kind of like, yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, if they're goofy looking, that's great. No, I'm kidding.
I think I'll back one of those tiers, and people will go, why is there an and I'm just making fun, listeners. Why is there
Yeah,
an Asian man in that Robot City Metropolis?
yeah,
That was back in the 1920s,
yeah. In Germany, yeah.
Okay. Um, Zach, I'm gonna start off with you, and James, feel free to jump in. Do you guys want to give shout outs to the rest of the creative team? I hope you have the same creative team on the last issue working on the Metropolis job.
Yeah, Jeremiah Lambert is a letterer, and he's kind of like low key is sort of my editor for art editor for some things, because he always tells me when I screw up. So, so he's kind of like my buddy. So
Mhm.
so on like my projects, he's usually working on them. And I have a flatter, Thiago Aguiar, and he usually flats my work when on books I color.
Mhm. Okay. Now, um, in the first issue in the Merlin job, there's like it's a dedication to Ansele Heilich.
Yeah, that's just actually in Nicholas Canfield. There's also a dedication. Those are actually both of my buddies, and they just bought that tier. That's just
Oh,
another reward tier, is a dedication.
that's so cool. That is nice. Okay, James, I'm gonna start off, and like I said, Zach, just jump in. Don't worry. So, if someone misses out on this campaign, is there someplace where they can go to pre-order, or after everything is shipped out and wants to get a copy, James, where can they go?
You can go to
Mhm.
montrousbooks.com. So right now you can get issue one
Mhm.
is available in digital and print on montrousbooks.com, and you can get the Monstrous 1 and 2 magazine. They're both available too on the
Mhm.
website. But now that Kickstarter allows you to do late pledges, so usually we just keep the late pledges open up until
Mhm.
we start shipping.
Mhm.
So you always the campaign basically never really ends.
Oh, that's
So
good.
if you miss it, if you go to the campaign page, uh it'll probably still be open for late pledges. Or they'll and then once we close that, we'll probably just put a link then to where you can purchase it. And hopefully I'd like to get it on Amazon. so you can get it on
Nice.
Comixology.
Yes. Oh, that'd be great. Zach, I'm gonna ask, you know, will you have, well, let me just at least go with the Merlin job. When you go to conventions, do you have like the Omega 11, the Merlin job copies at your table at conventions?
Yeah, I do now.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be at Indiana Comic Con this weekend.
Oh, okay.
So,
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, we're not sorry. This episode's gonna go up next week. Sorry, but
oh,
okay.
that, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but
I wasn't even thinking that.
no,
I have
no,
no I have no concept of time,
no.
much like Dr. Omega. So, but yeah, starting just as this con I'll be at this weekend, which is probably a week in the past for whoever's listening to this
Mhm.
right now. Uh, I'll have I'll definitely have comics and sketch covers. So
Ah, it's
that's
gonna be.
pretty exciting for me because
Mm-hmm.
having sketch covers of books of that are mine
Mm-hmm.
is kind of something I've always wanted. So that's pretty cool.
So cool. Um, Actually, I'm just, you know, um, Zach, it's a perfect segue. You already mentioned that you're going to be at a convention this weekend. What about any store appearances or other conventions in April or the rest of the year?
I well, let's see. I have at the time of let's see next let's see. I'm doing a Midwest Springfield, Illinois. I'm in
Mm-hmm.
Illinois, by the way. So I'm doing a Springfield Con uh, the 22nd of March.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm doing a Decatur one in April, I think 12th.
Mm-hmm.
And those are the two cons I have planned right now, and I'll be doing them all through the rest of the year. So,
Mm-hmm.
and that's all I have planned for right now. I don't really have anything else planned, but I'll definitely do more.
Oh yeah. And then you'll probably post them on your social medias, right? Your platforms.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Okay. James, what about you? Any upcoming store appearances or conventions?
No, I'm just gonna be on my couch. Yeah, I don't have any I don't have any cons scheduled this year at all.
No,
I
but
might get
also
I don't
yeah. But
know.
but the other thing too, but I also can understand it's like it's not only are you running your Kickstarters, but you've also because I know you've sent some people my way too. It's like you're also helping other guys with their Kickstarters, you know. Yeah, so you're a very busy guy. Yeah.
Yeah, and I got a day job too, so it's really hard. So I mean, I'm
Hmm.
so behind on things. I'm supposed to be writing a novel too that's like due next month, and I
Oh,
only have like 2,000 words done. So I'm kind of like, yeah, I can't do any conventions or
no,
anything.
no, yeah.
Like I said, like last year, things all kind of, you know, came together, and it was like, oh, you have to get like 5 books out, like in 2 weeks. So
Yeah.
um, and this year I was hoping to do a lot more Kickstarters. I wanted to like try to do Kickstarters like every few months. So
Hmm.
um, we'll see how that works out.
No.
Uh, because the fulfillment takes a really long time. So I
Hmm.
mean, when you have like a few thousand backers, that's like it could be like a month's worth of just
Mm.
shipping and going to the post office and that. So it's a lot of work. So, but we'll see. I mean, I like to do at least 4 Kickstarters this year, maybe more.
Hmm.
So there's at least 3 or 4 already that's kind of in the works. So,
Yes.
um, we'll see how that works. Yeah. So yeah, there's no time for conventions, but but if anyone invites me to one, I'll go.
Okay. All right, Zach, I'm going to start off with you, and James, I'll let you wrap it up. Any closing words to our listeners?
Check out Omega 11 Metropolis job. Follow it, you know, for when it launches. It's pretty crazy. It's gonna be, yeah, I think people are gonna like it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty excited about it.
James?
Yeah, I mean, definitely check out the Omega 11, the Metropolis job, issue number 2. It's things definitely get crazier, and this one's really, I mean, the first one's fun.
Yes, it
This is
is.
probably more fun, I think, because we have all these characters we're gonna introduce people to, and the artwork's amazing, and they're really cool characters, and I think each issue is probably gonna get more and more insane.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so I can't wait till it's all done and
Mm-hmm.
we have a graphic novel, because I think that'd be really awesome. But it
Mm-hmm.
is a really fun, kind of crazy
Mm-hmm.
uh, series, and I'm interested in seeing that where it goes. We're,
Yeah,
we're still like in play with a lot of it, so which
Mm-hmm.
which
yeah.
is kind of fun. It's not like, oh, it's already set
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and it's done. We're always, working on it and throwing out ideas. So and then changing things at the last second,
Mm-hmm.
and oh, let's get rid of this character and let's put this character in. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what kind of makes it kind of fun to kind of do it like this, and we're kind of like doing a lot of the stuff on the fly, and
Mm-hmm.
it's been, it is a lot of fun, and I hopefully like that shows, in the comic itself.
Mm-hmm. So, all right, James and Zach, mahalo. Thank you in Hawaiian for giving me another opportunity to interview you guys. Thank you very much. And thank you guys for making comics. Thank you very much. So I wish you guys all the success with your Kickstarter, the Omega 11, the Metropolis job. Now, listeners, this campaign starts on March 25th and ends on March 16th. Now, if you are a new comic book reader or a lifelong comic book reader who loves great time traveling stories and it has a fresh twist to it, please check out the Omega 11 Metropolis job campaign. I read the first issue, like James and Zach talked about this first issue. It's a little crazy, and you know, and I want to see where this goes. I really do. I just love your fresh take on it, guys. I really do. Zach, you're.
Well,
Thank
Mhm.
you.
we can't thank you enough, man. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Oh no, but thank you. And Zach, I love your art. I love your artwork in the first issue, and I cannot wait to see more of Moriarty Mouse. I Uh, so I want to thank Drew, the co-host of Comics for Fun and Profit, for putting this episode together. Drew, thank you very much for all your hard work behind the scenes. And if you are a new listener, please check out new episodes of Comics for Fun and Profit that comes out every Saturday. And I want to thank you, the listeners. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you for listening to this episode. Until next time, guys. Aloha.
In a world where time unravels, where the past and future collide, Dr. Omega's on a mission with Jack Dawkins by his side. Through the cracks of history, they chase the chaos far and wide. A city of steel, a hero's dream, and Metropolis, they'll collide. The Omniverse is breaking down. Dimensions twist and turn, heroes and villains all around. In the fire they'll burn, it's the Metropolis job. A heist like none before. Time travel thieves and legends to restore. From the shadows to the stars, we'll steal it all. With the 11, they will rise or fall. Oh, it's the Metropolis job. A gamble with the clock. Save the world or take the risk. In this city, time will rock. The Artful Dodger's got the skill Metropolis job, a heist like none before. Time travel thieves and legends to restore. From the shadows to the stars, they'll steal it all. With the 11, they will rise or fall. It's the Metropolis job, a gamble with the clock. Save the world or take the risk. In this city, time will rock. The walls are closing in, the clock is ticking down. But with Omega's mind, they'll tear this city down. With the 11 at their side, they'll fight and they'll defy. Through the chaos of the ages, they'll rewrite the sky. It's the Metropolis job, a heist like none before. Time travel thieves and legends to restore. From the shadows to the stars, they'll steal it all.